the candle enthusiast. I am your host, Shane Carlson, and this is a live stream on Aromatically Speaking, my secondary channel. If you're new to the show or the channel, whatever you want to call it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I wanted to get outside today and do something that I usually do just about every year when I'm in this part of the country. Just around Mother's Day is when all of the blossoms, the blooms, with the apple orchard. I don't know why I said it like that. Blooms. I don't know why I said it that way. This is when everything starts to get bright white and pink in the orchards. Here's the thing. It is freezing. It is very cold. It's May and it snowed here in New York this morning. I was making my morning coffee and looking at snow outside of my kitchen window. Not only is it cold, but it's extremely windy, which is why the audio might sound a little bit muffled and why you might hear some annoying wind sounds sometimes. But we're gonna try to give this a shot. Let's take a walk around. Let's talk. And if the audio just sounds too bad to keep, I'll erase it later. But let's hope we get lucky. I'll point the microphone in the direction where the wind isn't pouring in. Let's take a walk. I gotta come around to you. Woo! Now this is what my hair can do. You see that? Yeah. Can your hair do that? Mine can. But I know that wind, it's coming from this direction. See, this is my indication of where the wind is coming from. There's a purpose to everything, folks. And I want to welcome everyone joining in. This is a live stream, so please feel free to chat. I'm wearing sunglasses, so it's a little extra hard for me to see what people are typing. I'm hoping I activated the comments. And I chose this spot because I could park my car easily, but I'm noticing that it's not as white here in this location that it is in some other areas. But look at this tree, and perfect because the sun is just kind of peeking out. I'm gonna get all photo shoot in this. Take a screenshot. That's a cover. That's a magazine cover right there. But look at the blooms. No kidding, I was really worried about the cold weather because there is such a thing called bud break. Or not bud break. Bud break is when the buds break. I can't remember the word. But when the buds do break and they go into bloom, and if you get cold, those buds are not going to survive. And if the buds don't survive, you don't get fruit, which means you have a decreased amount of fruit for the upcoming harvest. But it seems as though, by looking at the ground, there's not a lot of petals. The trees are still very much white. The blossoms, the ones that haven't fully opened up yet, but the buds, I should say, look very healthy. So hopefully this means that the apple trees are resilient and that they'll be able to survive during these cold temperature swings that we're having. And I wish I could adjust the exposure, but look at the blooms and me in the background. Let me flip the camera around. Let's see if we can get some beauty shots here. So it's at this point that if you are a mother, I want to wish you happy Mother's Day, and I hope that it brings you tons of joy and happiness. And if you have a mother, I hope that you have an opportunity to spend some good quality time with mom tomorrow. And if you are unable to spend this Mother's Day with your mom. I hope that she still feels somewhat close to you spiritually, in your heart, in your soul, however you like to define those sorts of things. Look, see, this is what's gorgeous. You know, a lot of people think about cherry blossoms being purple and pink, but I've always been partial, go figure, to the apple blossoms. And I say this all of the time. This is just a few rows of trees. We're not even in the thick of the orchards. If we look at the thick of the orchards, it's not very white up there yet. Those are all apple trees. And when all of those are white and fully bloomed and pink and white, and it gets late enough into the season, maybe late May, what'll happen is you'll have a day like today, a strong gust of wind, and it'll blow all of those petals. It'll blow all of those petals off the trees, and you have these tornadoes of pink and white. And if you ever have the opportunity to just be in that window of time where all of this is happening and be inside of an orchard, gorgeous. Now, it's at this time that I should plug where I am. I'm not just trespassing. I'm at Minard's Family Farms. I won't say that I am close friends with the Minards, but we are very friendly. I went to grade school with a lot of the Minards, and the Minards are known in this neck of the woods of having, they have tons of farms. They have apple farms, apple tree farms, Christmas tree farms, pumpkin patches. They have hay rides and really cool festive attractions during the autumn season when all of the tourists come up. I'm going to try to get in a less windy area so we can do a little bit of talking. And if you're just joining in, let me know how great the hair looks. Yes. Okay. Whew. It is cold. I mean, it's cold. I like the cold, but this is a bit extreme. Okay, this seems to be a little bit better. So, if you're joining the live, click that like button if you're in arm's length. So this way I know that you're watching. Plus, it's always good for me to have these likes. And if you don't like these videos where I'm not talking about candles, don't worry. We only do this sometimes. Don't go unsubscribing on me. Don't go breaking my heart. Don't do that stuff. We're friends. We've established this relationship between you and myself. Let's not start getting cynical. This is gorgeous. This is you might be saying, wow, that's a beautiful pond, or maybe even saying, like, that's a beautiful small lake. No. Well, it is a pond, but it's a man-made pond. Yes, this used to be apple trees, but what they've done is, and this is how creative the Minards are, they dug a huge crater in the ground. This thing stretches, I would say, about 200 plus yards, this body of water. They dug a big hole, a big trench. They filled it with water, and it serves, at least as far as I know, two purposes. It serves as a this would be three: water collection. Two, that water is used for irrigation. So if there's ever a year where they need a little bit more water for the apple trees, there's something called drip irrigation, where they have little hoses that will literally just put like a drop on each tree throughout the vineyards. Apples
apple trees in this part of the country usually get enough water. It's really more wine country that this is a bigger practice. But either way, having a way to, have your own water irrigation, especially if there's like droughts and stuff like that, you're not using up the city's water. But because this is a tourist attraction, they also use this as a place where you can take out a boat, one of those like little mini personal or dual person, you spin with your legs and you paddle through the water in the autumn or in the summer. Summer is probably the better time to do it since it's not so cold. But they do little boat rides. They have tubes in the summer. So very creative dual purpose here. Christmas trees. Yes, Christmas trees of all varieties all over here. This isn't their location for their Christmas trees where you come and pick out your Christmas trees, but they're all over the place because they do have one somewhat nearby. And if you come up here during the autumn season, they have concessions where you can buy amazing treats. They serve apple cider ice cream. Whew. Apple cider slushies, but also all different flavors as well. There's a big barn up front where they have all of, I would say, at least two dozen different varieties of apples for sale that are grown right here on this property. They have warm, sweet treats like cakes and pies, and they have their own machine that they built from scratch that produces apple cider donuts with their own recipe. They have characters, they have farm animals, they have music, they have hay rides. Up here, there's a big mound. Can you see that mound right there? Well, they took a lot of the dirt from here and they made a mound here so you can go sledding. Not in the snow, but like sledding, in the autumn on mud or grass, because that's just as fun. It's not as fun to fall off and receive those rashes. And we have a tractor, man in a tractor there in the back. Don't know what he's doing on this cold May day. And for some of you who may be asking, this was the location of my first ever live stream. Rachel, hi, how you doing? I want to give a shout out to Rachel, the administrator of the Facebook group. You know that Facebook group, right? The Candle Enthusiast Facebook group, because it was her comment that kind of inspired me to come out and do this today. There was a live that I did just right down here where I was showing the apple blossoms like 2 years ago. And I had no idea. I completely had forgotten about that live video. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go out, especially this morning, to see if the blossoms are still healthy. And they were. So let's flip that camera around. I don't want to be walking around too much. I mean, I'm not going to be getting in trouble. But I definitely don't want to be disrespectful either. So you can pet some animals. If you see back there, there's a place where you can climb. There's a couple places where you can climb really high. And if you look there where it's brown, this is where the corn maze is. They have an enormous corn maze, a non-scary one, unless you're there at night. But in the middle of the corn mazes, you can climb up on these platforms and kind of get a bird's eye view of where you are. Over here, probably the biggest bouncy castle that I've ever seen. It's not really a castle, but it's a big bump. When they inflate it, they play children's music, and you can go bounce the day away on vinyl and oxygen and just bounce around and just defy all physics and gravity. Well, you're not defying physics. I mean, you can't really really do that, but you can bounce. But I do have to say that statement is a little bit, it's a little bit prejudiced. It says you must be physically fit, and they have a little sign where there's like a man. I wish I could zoom in. Can I? I can. There's a little man with his butt and sparks coming out of it. I mean, is that supposed to be me? I wouldn't say I'm physically fit. Like, that's not a way I would introduce myself to somebody. But seeing this written here makes me question if I'm physically fit enough to get on this bouncy castle, especially with that little illustration right there. Because I don't want to be a man. I don't know what that is supposed to be illustrating, but I don't want to be that man. And right here we see their little, large truck that has their signage on it that promotes their business. So when you drive by, because we truly are in the depths of apple country here, this is not like right off the highway, but a lot of people need the signage, of course, to know that they have arrived at Minard's Family Farms. Hay rides, corn mazes, pick your own apples and pumpkins. Bushels of fun at Minard's Family Farm. And this is something new. And I gotta give this a try. I might lose connection, but we have to try this. Can you see what I'm heading towards here? There's a tunnel that's above ground. It's a non-subterranean tunnel, but there is grass that runs on top of it. And this is new. Look at this. So, adding to the thrills and the chills of autumn, you can run through this tunnel. Let's see if I can do this without losing you guys. Okay. And the sounds, the acoustics. It's really windy. But you see this? Like, I feel like I'm pushing against the air because there's an extreme draft coming my way. I am exaggerating, but there is an extreme draft. And if I milk it just a little bit, I can do like a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible thing. Especially if I, really stretch, my arm out like that and get a cutaway of my fingers all red and gripping the sides. But really, it's actually quite easy to walk through and quite safe. The first thing I thought of when I saw that was, gee, I really got to make my property. I don't know what I'd do with it, but it'd be fun. Maybe, people would come over and play in my tunnel. Easy. So it's windy, folks. I'd love to spend more time with you, but let me know in the comments below if you would like to see a little bit more of these spontaneous lives, almost like little mini vlogs that are live. Or would you rather see them edited? Or would you rather not see them at all? Let me know, because that kind of information is always helpful. Where's my sunglasses? Here they are. They're on my head, entangled in my hair. It's dangerous. It's dangerous doing what I do. But again, happy Mother's Day to everybody from the bottom of my heart. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and the people closest to you, and make sure you take care of Mom. Did you buy a gift yet? You didn't buy a gift. Well, you need some suggestions? Okay, well, this is what I do. Because I'm a procrastinator, I will admit it. What I do is I go out, whether it's my mom's birthday or Mother's Day, and I buy the most fancy basket money can buy, baby. I'm talking like really out of this world fancy wicker basket. You heard me correct. I buy this basket, it's weathered, it's painted to look gorgeous and beautiful, and then I put some tissue paper down, or maybe some like fabric, if Joanne Fabrics is nearby, and I lay that in the basket, and then I go to the grocery store, I go to a couple gift shops, and I just buy little things, little tokens that I know my mom will enjoy, whether it be snacks or chocolates or little trinkets, gifts, cards, printed materials, things that let my mother know that I listen and that I care. And, this way I can speak my love, my admiration, my gratitude through physical items, and I put them all in that basket, and I put it there on her dining room table for Mother's Day morning. So if you're procrastinating, try doing something like that. It's the only suggestion I have. I have seen all of your written comments, and I apologize that I haven't addressed everyone, but I'm freezing cold. I'm cold. But I will be seeing you folks soon. Tomorrow, Smell It Sunday, we have an unboxing of a really, really fun candle company, Killer Clowns from Outer Space style. So make sure you tune in and swing over to the Candle Enthusiast Facebook, the Facebook fan group to get updates of when the show will go live, and if you want to participate in the Q&A session at the end of the live stream. Thank you so much for joining, folks. Happy Mother's Day, and I will be seeing you soon. But until then, be good, will ya?